Hello America, this is Fish News, swimming your way to get you the most current news. My name is Ian Deci.
And I'm Mia Shorts.
Our nation is still divided. Today our top story is a recap on the battle at Fort Sumter.
Fort Sumter, located in the beautiful Charleston Harbor in South Carolina, was attacked early in the morning at 4:30 a.m. led by General Pierre Beauregard.
This is known as the official start of the war. The Confederacy was formed because they wanted to preserve slavery and the political liberty of white people. A good portion of the southern states had joined the Confederacy, but they wanted South Carolina as well. Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederate States, knew that they needed to take Fort Sumter in order to take control of South Carolina. He told the fort's highest-ranking officers, Major Robert Anderson, to surrender. Anderson set up a garrison in the fort, and so the South opened fire. Thankfully, there was only one casualty, who was sadly killed during the evacuation. We know this to be the first step in the Civil War that we're in. Now, let's go to sandy beaches with the weather. Sandy?
So we are currently living in a never-ending Little Ice Age, which has been going on since 1350. The Little Ice Age actually encompasses dramatic changes in weather, despite its name. Unfortunately, the Ice Age is going to bring an intensely cold winter with extreme winds and also heavy storms and raging heat waves this fall. With that, today is going to be a high of 90 degrees. However, there's a possibility of precipitation this afternoon. Try to stay cool out there because by next week we are expecting warm-like temperatures throughout the entire country. If you would like to walk your dog or take your children to the park, I recommend doing so in the morning as it will get warmer throughout the day. As you can see here, there is a great amount of moisture in the air. Therefore, this will delay farmers from growing and picking crops. This will also create chaos for the war, as it could become a bit fishy.
Well, better put these on. Sounds like it's going to be a sunny one.
I should buy one.
Anyway, it's time for our daily update in the world of sports. Let's go to our on-site reporter, Clemantha Pearl. Clemantha?
Thanks, Ian. Right about now, things aren't looking good for the South as they fight the battle in their own territory. They know that the Union will try to use as many war strategies as possible, such as an offensive strategy, which combines attacks on the Confederate territory with economic pressure. The Union invaded Virginia in a campaign which culminated into the First Battle Bull Run, which was also known as the First Battle of Manassas. Even though the campaign is failing, the Union continues attacking the Confederates. Another strategy that the Union is using is called the Anaconda Plan, which is a slow economic pressure that is planned to force the South to surrender. The Confederates tried a cordon defensive strategy at first, which is manning the entire border of the territory. Recently, the Confederate President, Jefferson Davis, chose an offensive-defensive strategy, which is a more flexible strategy in which military troops move in order to meet military needs instead of trying to keep the border protected at all times.
Bermuda will now tell us a little bit about the 54th Massachusetts Regiment.
The 54th Massachusetts Regiment was the first battle to have African Americans fight with the Union. Abolitionists argued that African Americans had a right to join the U.S. Armed Forces to fight for their freedom. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on September 22nd, which stated that on January 1st of 1863, African Americans could join the Army. Later in the year, Governor John A. Andrew of Massachusetts made the first call for African American soldiers to join the Union in battle. Many of them came from New York, Ohio, Indiana, and as far away as Canada. They were led by 25-year-old Robert Gould Shaw to the Boston Common, where they prepared. When they reached Port Charleston, they were guarded by Fort Wagner. The Unions realized they were heavily outnumbered and outgunned. Sadly, 281 out of 600 were killed, wounded, or captured. Shaw was shot in his chest and instantly died. The Confederates thought by burying him with his fellow African-American soldiers, it would discourage the Union from ever wanting to fight with African Americans again. However, it did the opposite, and Shaw's parents claimed they were very proud that he could be buried with such brave and devoted soldiers. The 54th lost this one.
And now, let's go to a special report with our reporter, Shelley Seastar. Shelley?
Thanks, Ian. Today we are standing at the exact location of one of hundreds of nursing centers intended to care for the wounded soldiers in the war. Later, I'm going to interview one of the creators of the nursing center, Clara Barton.
I wanted to be involved in the war, but I didn't know how. I knew I could not fight in the war, but I could not stay at home and do nothing. I realized instead that I could organize a way to help those who can't help themselves. The world would be a better place if more people would volunteer to help.
At what moment did you realize that there was something you could do to make a difference?
I read about the amount of lives lost during the Battle of Bull Run. 3,000 Copperheads, Yankees, and 1,750 rebels. I realized I wanted to prevent the number of casualties from growing, so I asked a friend of mine, Doretha, to help create and take care of new wounded soldiers.
Clara, what side of the war did you and your nurses volunteer for?
We currently work for both the North and South as we work behind the scenes to deliver care to all wounded soldiers.
How many people are volunteering to help nurse the soldiers in need?
There are approximately 2,000 nurses who volunteered their time and effort to support the sick and severely injured soldiers.
Lastly, how much do you pay your women nurses compared to your men nurses?
Our female nurses get paid less than our male nurses, 40 cents to 68 cents a day. However, women receive housing and transportation, while men receive superior benefits.
Thank you.
Wow, what a touching story! Those women are so brave! Now let's hand it over to our weaponry expert, Anita some water!
Soldiers for the North and South have been using the same old guns for decades now. They've been using rifles, pistols, and muskets ever since the Revolution. However, this past month, war generals have been testing out new technologies such as advanced weaponry, which could change the course of the Civil War. The North and South are adapting towards revolving rifles as they are more effective. Some of the new rifles are the Springfield rifle and the Colt revolving rifle. The Minet ball is a type of bullet that is favored in the war. It is designed to expand while traveling along the rifle barrel, which increases the muzzle's velocity and ultimately providing spin to the bullet. Other advances in weaponry are cannons. Both the North and the South are testing out 12-pound howitzers, the 10-pound Parrott rifle, and the 3-inch ordnance rifle because ultimately they are more effective and it requires less energy and time per cannonball. Lastly, the most significant of all of the new innovations right now are the ironclad naval ships. This allows both sides of the war to attack without knowing their presence. Oh wait, that was confidential information? Oh well, here's our anchors with more news.
We have a very special story for you today. President Lincoln has just announced the Emancipation Proclamation. For more information on this, let's go to our reporter, Agua Pescado.
We are here today to witness what might be one of the greatest moments in Abraham Lincoln's presidency. The Emancipation Proclamation claims that all slave states are and henceforth shall be free. The Emancipation Proclamation itself is a blow to economic power into the South. It stands for abolition of slavery, the sole reason of the Civil War. This will surely go down as one of the greatest steps towards equality in our nation's history. We're here today live with an exclusive from Abraham Lincoln himself. Hello, Mr. President. What are your views on the Civil War?
I believe the war has gone on long enough. It's time for brothers to stop harming brothers. There shall no longer be bloodshed amongst families.
What are your views on slavery?
We should all be equal. In God's eyes, we are. So why not? Why shall we not come to our brothers, although they may look different, and embrace them and take them in?
What are your expectations for the country after the war is over?
I hope that once this is all over, we can look towards the future, a future of peace and prosperity.
Thank you very much, President. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like that's all the news we have for you today. Come back tomorrow for the most current news. We hope the rest of your day goes swimmingly. And as always, I'm Ian DeC.
And I'm Bermuda Shorts.
And on behalf of everyone here at the Fish News Network, thank you and goodbye, America. That together, when we say words, they happen. So when I say these words and I make up phrases, I'm not really saying anything.
Oh, that's so nice.
I'm so sorry, Ryan.
Oh, that's
No.
As long as it's not in my eye.
Here, I'll move that.
I'm checking. Oh, never mind. It's
I'm so sorry, Ryan.
It's not in my eye though, right? Anywhere in my eye?
No, it's not.
No.
Just leave it.
No, I'm Spider-Man.
No, lady.
That's enough, JD. That's
No,
enough.
I know. I am done. I'm done.
I'm not getting.
We know this to be the first step in the Civil War.
Excuse me, sir? Sir? Why are you here today?
I'm here to see the amazing fights going on. I heard the North and the South are getting at it.
Where do your loyalties lie, sir?
Oh, the North. The North's gonna kick their butt.
Oh, really? You believe that, sir? Yes?
Yes, the North is completely way better. They have a lot better than the armory.
What enjoyment do you take out of watching these fights? What do you get from it exactly?
Oh, I get the amusement of watching the North kick the South's butt. It's great. Fantastic.
You already said that, sir. Thank you, sir. Goodbye.
Ready?
Yeah, just improvise.
Okay.
I've been ready for the past 15 minutes.
Toss one, count
Go.
down.